third place on the leaderboard with 32 minutes, 54 seconds, and 170 milliseconds. Yes, we are timing it down to milliseconds on the leaderboard to determine the top rankings, and he is in third place. So this race is underway, and we're going to be going through the Yoshi's Island area. Yoshi's Island is the first area of the game. You have to go through this area to get anywhere else. You can either go left or right. The runners will go right because, you know, the yellow switch palace is too slow. So we're not going to do that. So, looks like delcaMX has taken the 1-up strat. Both runners are trying to get through this course with a time ideally a 361, but 360 is considered a really good time for this course. And this is pretty much an introductory type of level for the game for casual players. It's a very easy level, not a lot of hard things to work through. Very easy to make your way through and complete it. And both runners get to the end with a 360. So we are on even pegging starting out the race here today. Runners are now going to advance to Yoshi's Island 3. I know the Japanese text makes that hard to see, but it is Yoshi's Island 3. This is a very vertical style level with a vertical horizontal. A lot of technical moves to get into the sky. In terms of levels starting the game, this is a very challenging level for casual players to get used to in terms of figuring out where they have to go. But it is a generic level setup, and once you get good at it, you can do it fast every time. And this is a 259 ideally. 258 is also possible. Both runners do get a 259. Very good, very competitive start by both runners here. Runners are now going to Yoshi's Island 4. As they're making their way through Yoshi's Island 4, they're going to probably attempt some kind of a shell jump here once they grab the shell in the middle of the stage. If they can do that, they will save about a second off the timer at the end. Neither runner manages to get the shell jump, so both are going to be looking, I believe, I think it's a 260, or no, I got my times wrong, I'm thinking the wrong stage. 275, rather, we're going to get here. 276 is what is ideal with the shell jump. So again, still even pegging. Very good race so far here. So as they go into Iggy's castle, they're going to be going across a chain link fence. They have to grab this fence, unfortunately, as they go. If they do not grab the fence, they literally fall in the lava and die. And it's a shame because the fence also slows down the movement as they're going. So they're going to try and jump to get a little extra speed as they're going along. Looks like maiba may have gotten through that a little bit faster than Delca did. Both are in the crusher room right now. There is a swag maneuver they can do here with the flying block that's about to come in here, but let's see if either runner goes for that move today. Looks like maiba has moved on. Delca is just going to sit there firing into, or stand there firing to the left. maiba is in the Iggy fight first. Very, very clean Iggy fight. That is beautiful. A little hesitation I think I saw from Delca there. So 238 from Delca, 241 from maiba. maiba comes out into a slight lead at this time. And while we're watching the castle get blown to smithereens, as castles are wont to do, I want to remind you, the viewer, that this is a 2 out of 3 series. You can see that there are a couple of gray stars underneath each runner's timer. Those stars indicate wins. When those stars light up, that means that you have a win. When you get 2 wins, you win the match. So it can go to a possible 3 games before the match is concluded. So each time you win a game, one of those stars gets lit up. So we are starting Donut Plains 1. And Donut Plains 1, they're going to grab the cape. They're going to try to maintain P-speed as they fly along. Nice fireball from maiba there as well. And Delca also got a nice fireball off there. So both runners are in the air. I think maiba might be slightly ahead on this stage. I'm not 100% sure of the exact timing. But we're going to be seeing them go to grab a key here. And when they're going to grab that key, they're going to go in the keyhole. And off they go to the next level. 361, it looks like, for maiba. And Delca missed the key, got a 360. Had to go back to get it. Actually, looked like he might have been slightly ahead on that stage until he missed the key. So they are both in the underwater level now. This underwater level, well, let's just say that water makes you very, very slow and lethargic because, you know, water. So they're going to go up the pipe into this dry area where they can move fast, try and get a Koopa, and they want to get that Koopa shell so they can swim. Nice grab on maiba. Let's see how Delca handles that. Very nice. Both runners got it. And we even got a slightly recolored pipe by Delca there. Very nicely done. So maiba is now flying under this, or floating under the stage with the P-switch. Delca also changes around to the P-switch. And maiba is first across the goal tape with a 251. Delca is slightly behind with a 248. Not too far behind. Still a very, very small time difference there. And now we are in the Donut Ghost House. Donut Ghost House is the first ghost house in the game. They're going to be, as you see, flying through the front of the stage, trying to avoid any chance that the ghosts can come down and take their cape away from them. If you stay too long, those ghosts will get you. And they fly right up, skipping all the other activities. Oh, Delca misses the jump, has to do it again. Gets it second try. So they skip all the other activities in the ghost house, and they're out of that stage. And now the donut planes land parts, and a bridge is formed, and maiba enters a stage we're not going to see a lot of. He's going to do some very tricky running there across the moving platforms and get his P-speed and fly across to show us some clouds and a couple moving platforms and an on button, another on button, and some fuzzies. So there is a level down there that's very tricky and very bottomless. Not a lot of floors down there, but we're not seeing most of it because this is a flyover level. This and the next level is also a flyover level. We're probably not going to see much of that level either. maiba does cross with a 262, and Delca is on pretty close pace here. Looks like he took a little extra time getting in the air, but he is hitting the tape now at a 252. And here is the next flyover level, and we're going to see a charging chuck. We're going to see a small patch of land with a Koopa on it. There's a Piranha Plant, can't jump high enough to nab Mario. Another, actually I called it a charging chuck, a flying Hammer Brother. And some flying Goombas. Gotta watch out for those flying Goombas. They can take you out of flight very quickly. And maiba's across the goal tape. Delca shows us the 3-up moon that's up there. Doesn't pick it up. It would have slowed him down to hit the clouds. maiba gets Morton fly first try. Very nicely done. Gonna go right back in the pipe because we don't need no stinking 1-ups. And maiba's just gonna try to fly up this room, maintain P-speed all the way, grab the spring, be able to maintain P-speed all the way up. Can stop the P-speed now because he's gonna have to weigh at the top anyway. So, ooh, almost lost the spring. He will get up there in time, though, and he just wants to drop the spring, bounce up, and into the fight he goes. Quick kill of Morton. Fireball, fireball, bounce. See you later, Morton. And grab the cape. And move on. delcaMX almost went up the wrong gap there. That would have been disastrous. So will he get up in time to get the gap for the... Hurry up, maiba. Oh, or Delca, I mean, he didn't make it. He did make it in time. Okay. And Spring not really in the best spot, but he does get it. He is going to go for the Morton quick kill as well, as this is normal strategy. And there it is. And a cape. Meanwhile, maiba finishes his castle demolition celebration and continues into the Vanilla Dome. A big, big red dot on the map. Big level here. And by the way, the red dots on the map indicate that there are 2 exits to a level. If it's not red, if it's more of a white blinking dot, then that is a single exit on the map. Just some Super Mario World information for those of you new to the game. Now, this is a no Star World category. maiba's going into Vanilla Secret 1 right now. There is a pipe about halfway up the stage that would take you to that Star World. Of course, the Star World is not what we are doing, and we're past that pipe now anyway, so we're not going to be going there. And maiba crosses the gold tape. Now, you may notice that neither runner is actually trying to get any stars out of the gold tapes. The reason for that is because if you get 100 of those stars, you get put into this really, really slow and annoying mini game where you have to hit a bunch of blocks. And then if you end up lining up any 3 of them, you end up having to wait for 1-ups to come out of a pipe before you can actually get out of it. So it takes a lot of time and is generally seen as a very, very slow maneuver and just kills a lot of time. So we're not going to be going for that bonus game during this playthrough. So maiba is flying over another stage that we're not going to see much of, just a pipe, a charging chuck, and a few Koopas, and he's across the gold tape. A Vanilla Secret 2, going to move into Vanilla Secret 3. Vanilla Secret 3 is what I like to call the Dolphin Buffet, because in the Japanese version of the game, which these runners are both using, you can bring Yoshi and snack on some dolphins. They took that away in the North American version because, you know, that's just kind of a weird idea. And there's a little Porky Puffer down there. You can eat the Porky Puffer in all versions. That has not been taken away. Of course, you have to question how Yoshi gets it down. And maiba is going to be the first to enter. We're having sync stage completions here, but they are different stages at this point. They are one full stage apart. maiba is heading into the Vanilla Fortress right now. Kind of interesting that Bowser needed a castle for his fish collection. But here they are. Here's all the fish. And there are no Koopa Shells or anything to grab here to speed this up. So this is a very, very slow trek, unfortunately. Or should I say swim, not trek. But coming out of this pipe, maiba is going to attempt to do a thwomp skip here. A good spin of the cape. Doesn't get it, but so it has to wait for the thwomp to come down. Not very long wait, but saves about half a second if you get it. And both runners are again in the same stage here as maiba is taking on the Resner fight and gets the Resner down. Very nice. Delca is working his way through the fortress as well. So as Delca is about to drop through the pipe, we're going to find out if he goes for the thwomp skip. Meanwhile, maiba is getting out of the fortress rather, and is entering Butterbridge 1. Ladies and gentlemen, get your resident sleepers in chat for Butterbridge 1 with the long, slow auto scroller that is required on this speed run, because going the other way is just even slower. So here is our 2-minute auto scroller. You don't want to take any silly chances in the stage, because a death late in the stage means you're doing an entire 2-minute stage from the beginning, and that is not what I would call fast. maiba is doing some kind of, I believe, cape strat, though, flying way up there. This is what I consider risky. It's also seen as some kind of weird swag. To each runner, their own preference. At this exact point, a death would put the runners in a position where Delca would be ahead if maiba were to take a death now. And he releases the cape, so he is going to do the rest of this normally. He did not grab a shell, so he's not going for any kind of a vine glitch. There's a block you could actually clip here, or duplicate rather, and if you manage to hit that to trigger a block above it, you can actually trigger a vine that pretty much doesn't do anything. It's a vine in nowhere, as we like to call it. Oh, there's some more swag for maiba. That is risky, but went for it and got it. And now Delca is doing the cape swag. I guess this is how you entertain yourself in these stages. Otherwise, boring. So Maiba is back to flyover status as he's flying over Yoshi, or I should say Butterbridge 2. There's a lot of flying Koopas in the latter half of the stage, especially, that just seem to swoop in from nowhere. But he's high enough that he can fly right over all of them and should not have any issues here. Even that group of 5 right there at the end, 5 or 6. Delca, meanwhile, finishes his Resident Sleeper, and we're back on speedrunning pace for both runners. Maiba, meanwhile, enters Ludwig's castle, and the musical composer of the Koopas has probably the stage that you could say ramps up the difficulty in this game quite a bit. If you didn't take the Cheese Bridge route and go down to Soda Lake, which would lead to the Star Road, obviously we're not going to the Star Road, then that's where I would say the difficulty picks up. But going on the top half, if you do the top half instead, this is the stage where the difficulty actually picks up, because you have to go through some really couple really tricky rooms to get used to. And as you can see, Maiba is doing it like a professional right now, because you can imagine he's done this before. So quick kill on Ludwig, 2 fireballs and a bing. And that's a dead Ludwig, or at least somewhat temporarily stunned. Being pointed out to me in chat that all the Koopas are named after musicians, and just that Ludwig's the most obvious one. Yeah, that is true, but you have to imagine the room that he fights you in just comes across to me as a composer's hall. I don't know why, it just does. And delcaMX does his quick kill of Ludwig. And Ludwig didn't stand a chance today. So Maiba is picking up a Yoshi. I believe Delca will probably do that as well. Let's see if Maiba decides to go for the Yoshi Wigs clip here. He's far enough ahead that he may decide to save the 6 seconds, but it is, if you can actually pull it off, and he looks like he's going to go for it. If you can pull off the wing block here, which he did not, he got a P balloon. It would have saved again in 6 seconds, but he got P balloon, not worth waiting around for a second try. Just take Yoshi and go. And off you go to Forest of Illusions 2. We're going to have a very important trick in this stage. We have to clip Yoshi into the wall in a certain way that when you get back on top of him, you go into the wall with him, and you go into the into the solid state of matter that you normally would not be able to go into. Let's see if Maiba can get this. And if you do miss it, by the way, it's even if you do everything correctly, you can miss it. You can get knocked out. It is based on Yoshi's positioning. But Maiba gets in first try, no problem, as he goes under an arrow of fish above him. Delca, is he going to go for the... Nope, he's just going the upper route. He may grab a Koopa at the end, though. Nope. So as you see, Maiba is trying to pick up the things along the way, in this case, a key. This will allow him to go a lot faster, and you want to go a lot faster. So there he is at the end of the stage. And Delca is now entering Forest of Illusions 2 as Maiba is leaving, kind of like a virtual high five. Can delcaMX get the wall clip? He didn't get the first chance. He had to wait for the urchin. Oh, he's not even going for it. He's just doing the stage normally. He must not be good enough with the clip to attempt it in a run yet. That's what I can perceive from that. So he's doing the stage normally, and that will take a little bit more time, as he has to go through some ups and downs, as Maiba is just speeding through Forest of Illusions 3, a full stage ahead. Delca is going to go for easy clip. So easy clip is basically an easier version of the clip. You don't have to wait for the chain shot, for the urchins, I mean. And usually it's very easy to get into this clip compared to the one at the start of the stage. But it is a little bit slower because, again, you had to go through one of the ups and downs. So he is in there now. Maiba, 2 stages ahead in Roy's Castle, begins Roy Flight. And completes Roy Flight. Very nicely done. And gets to the end of the spike area. Very good castle by maiba. So what you just saw was the last case of a quick kill being needed for any of the bosses in this run. The only other boss we're going to see is Wendy. We don't need the Fire Flower to actually beat Wendy. So the Fire Flower may get replaced by a backup cape if maiba decides to go for that. But for right now, he's going to blow up the castle. Why didn't it blow up? Let's investigate. And this is why you don't stand next to exploding buildings. So Delca goes into the pipe to get the key from Force of Illusions 3, is going to be entering Roy's castle as maiba is leaving. And maiba is going to attempt to get into a certain pipe at the P speed so he can try to rocket through the stage. And there it is. If you maintain P speed, you can just go rocketing at a much quicker speed than you normally would be able to at flight speed. So he's going to rocket through this, may stop to grab the spring to get the extra cape. Let's see if he does. He does not. He just goes. And that's a quick. Oh, Dalkin did not get the quick kill. He got one of the fireballs, didn't get the second one, I think. So he has to take another hit. And this is going to cost him some valuable time. But there it is. And maiba is going through the spooky ghost house, the chocolate ghost house. Nothing chocolate in here. He has to avoid this fishing boo, which has a fishing rod that contains purifying fire that will also kill you. And very, very nice jump up through the move through the boo chains there. Gets into the gate and is now going to move on to Chocolate Island 2, rather. Chocolate Island 2 has a unique trait in that, well, let's just put it this way. You have to get to the secret area of the stage, and the way you get to the secret area of the stage is completing the first two areas with a time of 250 seconds or greater remaining on the clock. If you do that, you get to the secret area. If you do not, you go to the normal exit. So in the all stages, all exits run, you have to do both, obviously, but in this case, we're going to just be doing the secret area to get the chocolate secret. And we are in the secret area with charging trucks throwing baseballs because that's what they do best. They throw baseballs. So some may argue that kicking footballs is better. So we are now in Chocolate Secret. Chocolate Secret is a very difficult trio of maps here. As you see, you drop into a very technical jump that you can just avoid because you're already floating with the cape. And we're not seeing a lot of what happens below, but these charging trucks kicking their footballs are very difficult to get through for the casual player, especially if you don't have a cape. So that can be a very dangerous stage to work your way through. This is a much more lenient map. You can just go sliding down, and probably the easiest map of the three in the stage. So you can just go sliding down and annihilate the Buzzy Beetles, or just float down in very fast speed like maiba did. And then we have the falling platforms of doom into the lava, which we're just going to fly over. And maiba is now exiting Chocolate Secret as delcaMX is about to begin Chocolate Island 2, about a couple stages behind at this point. And we are now in Wendy's Castle. Wendy's Castle is the final actual Koopa Castle we're going to see in this level. It's the introduction of those Crusher. I called the other things Crushers, more like spiked Crusher enemies in this case. And they're basically big thorns that if you get stuck under them in the middle of them, it puts you into what is considered a wall for them, and like you can't go through those things. That is actually considered a wall on the inside of the crusher, and if you get caught in that, you lose not only whatever power up you have, but also whatever power up you have in your blue square at the top, and you die. It's like instant death. Don't want to get caught in that. Very nice getting through that and the section that followed. And Wendy is down. delcaMX is apparently thinking about this. I don't know what is going on over there. delcaMX appears to have paused on the pipe, and I'm not sure what is going on over there. Maiba, meanwhile, cleans up literally Wendy's castle. I mean, if it was possible to mop something out of existence, I would do it myself. I'm kind of a comical way to get rid of a castle. But Mario can do that apparently, and Yoshi is all the more thankful. The Yoshi's egg. Now, just for reference, I don't see any kind of forfeit or anything from Delca, so I don't know what's going on here. I can only assume that. Oh, Delca got called for something important, according to what he's saying in the chat. He had to be RB. What I take this to mean is he's probably going to end up forfeiting the first run, which is perfectly fine. Give it another try and try to get it the second run, see what happens. And did maiba pause his game and his timer? Or did he just go offline? As for note for maiba, you should finish the race. I believe, I don't think there's any rule saying you have to wait. It sounds like Delca. Yeah, I'm a little confused now. maiba is doing the sportsman-like thing of waiting for Delca here, but we're going to have, needless to say, some mismatched timers now, as maiba did stop his timer. I'm going to find out what's going on here. What I'm assuming is happening is that maiba is waiting to for Delca to come back and for Delca to resume playing, and then maiba will probably resume playing at that point. Now, it wouldn't qualify if maiba were to be on PB pace. He will have given up his PB by now, because needless to say, that wouldn't count at this point with the extra time in between. But yeah, I believe maiba is perfectly entitled to continue the race. He's just doing what he's doing as a sportsmanship type move. That's entirely his decision to do that, but he is allowed to continue. He does not have to wait for Delca to come back. maiba was significantly ahead of Delca, about a stage and a half, and is perfectly within his right to continue if he wishes. Nonetheless, the good sportsmanship is applauded, and I see some comments saying the same in chat as well. So maiba is showing the ghosts now that appear in the ghost ship. We're going to be seeing those until we get to a point where the boo rings appear. When the boo rings are spawned in, we're going to be trying to get them spawned in while the ghosts are still on the screen. If we can do that, he may be able to get one or both of them to not appear. Oh, very nicely done. I did not think they would go that extra cycle, but neither boo ring got spawned. Very nice. So a very nice skip by maiba there. We're now in the falling chamber of open empty space and lots of Koopas and spiky things. I'm being suggested in the chat I should talk about the history of a certain item in this stage, which I will talk about during race 2, when I have when there's a little more open time and things I would have to otherwise repeat. But for now, let's just admire the orb that is in this stage. And with the collection of the orb, maiba has unlocked Valley of Bowser. And there are 3 stages we're going to see inside Valley of Bowser before we get to the back door, as we're going to take the back door route. Valley of Bowser 1, we have a lot of big Monty Mole type creatures here. And maiba is doing the spins to get rid of them, which you might not imagine at first that's something you can do as a casual player. But yes, they do die to a cape. That is still in the North American version as well. Not restricted like the Dolphins. And for those coming in late, just to clarify, Delca did have something come up he had to take care of. He is allowing maiba to finish the first race, which maiba was about a stage and a half ahead at that point. It sounds like Delca is conceding the first race. He's going to give it another try in the second race, I presume, and we're going to attempt to he's going to attempt to bring it back. And hopefully he can get a good pace again. He was on a really good pace I think, for a PB in his case. But he's going to get to give it another try, and we're going to see if we can get complete race out of both runners for the second one here. maiba, is he going to go for any skips here? Sandbar skip? I think he may have already passed it. So yeah, he's already passed it, but you can't do that anymore. And another question, why are the times off? The reason the times are off is because maiba did stop his timer when he paused his game, when he knows that delcaMX stopped running for a while. That's why the times are off. It was a good show of sportsmanship by maiba to want to do that and still keep his timer as accurate to his game as possible to show what his time would be. And that's just basically good sportsmanship. But that's why the timers are off, because Delca's timer kept running. maiba is now in the final regular stage of the game before the final fight. A lot more of these crusher things, and this is a more technical stage with the spiky crushers, because you are going to try to maintain P speed as you fly between these crushing spikes, thorns, whatever you want to call them. I keep calling multiple things crushers for whatever reason. And here we are again with the P speed, trying to maintain flight speed so we can go fast between all these things. He got it. And our final fight with Reznor. Bye, Reznor. And maiba is entering the final stage of the game. The final stage of the game is conveniently called Backdoor. The reason it's called Backdoor is if you went the other way, it would be called Front Door. Seems logical. So just going to fly through this dark room, and yes, there is a room back there. It is hard to see, but you can see it if you look carefully. Meanwhile, we are now in the final Bowser fight. maiba is going to be attempting to get 2 Mecha Koopas into Bowser's skull 3 consecutive times, and upon doing that, will free the princess from inside. Did a little swag to show you can go through the clown car when it's coming down. So yeah, fun fact, the clown car is intangible when this fight begins. And then it becomes tangible when Bowser actually emerges and starts flying around. So as you see, he got rid of one of the Mecha Koopas. The reason he got rid of that Mecha Koopa is, well, he wants to keep this Mecha Koopa. And the only way to guarantee that you're going to be able to keep this Mecha Koopa is to give up a Mecha Koopa in the first cycle, grab this one on the second cycle, use the first one from that second cycle to get the second hit, and keep this one. He's going to be using this one to attempt what is called a bowling ball skip. I believe that's the proper technical term for it, if I'm not mistaken. And he's going to basically attempt to skip one of these bowling balls that Bowser is about to throw one right now. We're trying to avoid him throwing the second one and trying to get him to spawn his other Mecha Koopas a little quicker. Maiba does execute the skip perfectly, and we're going to get another Mecha Koopa right about now to crush Bowser, and there it is. So we're going to maintain this one now for the second phase. There's no real skip to get from the second phase, or the third phase, rather. There's no real skip to get from the third phase. All that's going to happen in that case is we're going to have one less hit to get, and it's going to cause the cycle of 7 bounces to become a cycle of 5 bounces. So you actually get the final cycle of Mecha Koopas quicker. There's that first hit very quickly. So he just needs one more hit, 2 more bounces, and we're going to have it. And bonk. And freed Princess and kiss on the lips or cheek for Mario, and that's that. So with the pause considered, Maiba does clock in with an official time of 35 minutes and 50 seconds, and in real time, as you see on the timer, would have been about 33:20 if he had not paused, somewhere in that range. And delcaMX did forfeit from the first race, as I suspected he might, given the interference from real-life interference. Is going to get ready for the second race right now. We're gonna reset that room. We're going to be underway in just a moment with the second race. Stay tuned.